HauntedFlower.com and HauntedFlowerReviews.com. I've got a really interesting mix of stuff for you today. First, I'm going to be reviewing Chronicle on DVD, sent to me by Fox. Dog the Bounty Hunter, Taking It to the Streets on DVD. And these were some fun ones I found over the weekend. We went up to Traverse City, Michigan, and if you're from Michigan, in northern Michigan anyway, you might be aware of the legend of the Dogman. Well, I've got two Dogman DVDs to talk about today too, so that should be fun. Let's start with Chronicle. As soon as I heard the premise, I was hooked. Then I saw the movie, and oh my gosh, it is amazing. I really like this movie. Chronicle is the story of three teenage boys in high school who stumble upon this hole in the ground, and there's something down there. It looks really crazy. You're not sure what it is, but somehow in the aftermath of going down there, they come out with abilities, powers, telekinesis. It starts off really slow, just being able to maybe put some Legos together. And eventually, as they work the muscle, as they call it, they get to do more better things, more complex things, like floating a teddy bear around and scaring a little girl, or moving a car to a different place in the parking lot to freak someone out. They really start out as a merry band of pranksters, but their individual personalities kind of determine how these powers are going to ultimately be used. For example, you've got Steve, who wants to be a politician someday. He's obviously an athlete, very popular, very happy guy. He just wants to fool around with this. Mark, who is another super nice guy, kind of on the fringe of being popular, but is interested in this blonde girl who runs a blog and also carries around a video camera. Steve is played by Michael B. Jordan, and Matt is played by Alex Russell. And then finally, you have the most fascinating character, Andrew, who is played by Dane DeHaan. Oh my gosh. Okay, Andrew has an alcoholic father. He's a loner. He's an outcast. He gets beat up at school every day. And now after he has these abilities, these two guys let him hang out with them, including, Mark is his cousin. But they've never really been close. Now they have this thing that bonds them together, but as time goes on and tensions increase, it becomes very difficult, especially as Andrew becomes better and better at his abilities, and the other two have to figure out if they need to keep him in check or if they need to establish rules. The story is by Max Landis and Josh Trank. Max Landis wrote the screenplay, Josh Trank directed the film, and what's amazing about this film is that I'm under the impression, I've been told, that it was a very low-budget film, but it looks amazing, especially when these characters eventually figure out they can fly. This movie is just so exciting and fantastic on so many levels. It really kind of rolls out almost like a comic book, but it's done in that kind of reality form where Andrew is kind of obsessed with carrying a camera around with him, documenting everything, documenting his thoughts. There's really no purpose to it, and the movie really could have survived without that format, but I think it was just done because it's a low-budget thing. And then the film gets a little goofy when it switches from Andrew's camera to the blonde girl's camera to maybe someone's cell phone camera, and it just kind of abandons the format near the end. But I think the movie really could have done well without that. If there's anything negative I have to say about the movie, it's that it probably could have done without the format, though the format did allow for many amazing camera angles and just cool situations. So Chronicle, definitely check it out. The DVD doesn't have much in the way of features, but it does show you a computer animated version of how they were going to do some of the scenes. It has the voiceovers, so you can see how they were going to do the flying, and they just have a really low budget version of what that was going to look like. And then they also have a camera test sequence where they just pulled in some people to play the parts and tested out some ideas they have, like bending a fork and moving a car. And then there's just some trailers. But regardless, check this out. I bet the Blu-ray's even better. Next, I've got Dog the Bounty Hunter, Taking It to the Streets. I've actually reviewed a few different Dog the Bounty Hunter DVDs now, and this one at first I was a little disappointed because it only has 4 episodes. But there's a running time of 157 minutes. These are long episodes. These are hour episodes with, they would have had commercials thrown in. And these are some of the craziest episodes I have ever seen. There is some nutty stuff when they're tracking down a meth dealer and his pregnant girlfriend, and they just go from place to place to place. People are lying about it and eventually find them in a trailer. A lot of the times, the drama in Dog the Bounty Hunter is very embellished, but in these episodes, people are lying to them. The person really did go from place to place to place and they kept missing him. It was just nuts. Family's trying to protect someone and he has to turn them all against each other, make them tell the fugitive a story to get him to fly into an airport so they can apprehend him. Lots of nutty stuff. It was pretty good. Next, we have The Legend of Michigan's Dogman. This is the 25th Anniversary Collector's Edition DVD. It has 2 discs. There's tons of stuff. If you've ever been interested in The Legend of Dogman, which is a creature that looks like a dog but stands on 2 legs like a man and has yellow glowing eyes. In 1987, a song was written about it and it captured the imaginations of northern Michigan. It started out as a radio prank and then more people have woven details into it. More people came forward with sightings and they have all these videos and all sorts of things. The DVD has all 6 recordings of the song. So if you needed to hear all 6 versions of the Dogman, it's on here. Also, there is a new music video. There is a Search for the Legend, which is a film that takes you on a tour of each verse of the song. Encounters 2, which is a documentary of the witness evidence. So they have interviews talking to people and showing the 1 clip of shoddy footage that they have. And also a trailer for Dogman, this movie that they made. And a Why We Do This, the story that will touch your heart, explaining why everyone continues the legend of Dogman. If you listen to the song, basically Dogman, there's just been sightings, people have encountered it. Not a ton of violence has taken place as a result. Dogman, the movie, really deviates from the entire legend in a ridiculous way. This is a B movie at best. This is hilarious and you should probably be drinking when you watch it. It is 90 minutes and holy crap. And the summary on the back gets into it more than the movie does. They really embellish what's in the movie. Paint a picture for you. The opening scene of the film, a woman notices that her snowmobile has been stolen and chases after it in her truck. A ridiculous scene driving through fields, mowing down her own crops, and the snowmobile's been stolen. And the whole movie, the snowmobile keeps getting stolen, and they keep saying, oh, those darn teenagers must be doing it. But the movie is trying to allude that the Dogman steals the snowmobile. This dude has this really awesome bow and arrow set that he laid on the picnic table for a minute, and whoosh, it's gone. The Dogman stole the bow and arrow? What does a Dogman need with a bow and arrow? I mean, he's a Dogman. All their chickens keep disappearing, and the tools in their shed, and burlap sacks, like a bunch of random stuff. Is he more man than dog? Is he a hoarder? Who is this Dogman? The characters in this movie are some of the dumbest I have ever seen, and the actors playing them, for the most part, are pretty mediocre. For example, after that woman got into a car accident, she's wearing a cast for most of the film. As soon as she gets the cast off, she's walking around like nothing happened. No problem, no limp. She's in heels, for crying out loud. How does that make any sense? This main dude decides to set up one of those motion sensor still cameras by his hunting blind to see if he can get a really awesome picture of a buck. Those teenagers decide to try and play a joke on him by putting on like a werewolf Dogman mask and posing in front of the blind, and then one of them gets attacked, supposedly by the Dogman, whom you never see in the movie. That camera never amounts to anything. A character tries to go back for the memory card, they never look at it. The camera serves no purpose as a result. Make up some story about how the Dogman's bite has long-lasting effects and will eventually kill you, and then they run across a Native American woman whose dog was killed by the Dogman, and she looks through her grandmother's scrapbook and finds, wait, there's a cure for this. Look, we're going to take this and put it on the wounds and everything will be fine. That being said, the woman who played the Native American probably was the best actress in the movie, and she gets one cool shot in the movie where she is in a locked car and does a slow reaction up and looks at the window, and you see the silhouette of the Dogman. By far, the coolest moment in the entire film. But the film itself is horrible crap. It has nothing to do with the legend, but it is hilarious if you need to satisfy your curiosity. But I wouldn't recommend it. So out of all these, by far, Chronicle is the winner! Thank you for watching my reviews. I hope you'll join me next time for some more DVD or Blu-ray reviews or anime or something. Bye-bye!
If you like this review, go to my site at hauntedflowerreviews.com. I also have a podcast on iTunes. Please leave me ratings and comments. Also, we have a store, hauntedflower.com, where you can find the best online apparel and accessories from movies, TV shows, anime, and more. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/hauntedflower, and that's where we have all of our contests too, so you can win free stuff. Go to indiemojo.com if you live in Indianapolis, and you can find out how to go to free movies.